Bob Michaelson, thanks for being here.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Let's get to the first question. As an incumbent running for re-election to the Sioux City Community School Board, voters want to know what you have accomplished as a member of the board. So what have you done?
Well, you know, when it comes to accomplishments, the accomplishments are those of our staff, right? A board member, in my view, you know, they need to stay in their lane and support and encourage and help. But that list of accomplishments, Dr. Rod Earlywine, his cabinet and staff over the past 3 years, moving into this year, their body of work was, it's stunning when you think about it. And just a short list for you right here. I mean, those guys were 3 years out ahead on the cell phone thing. It's a law now. That happened 3 years ago in Sioux City. Reading and reading teachers were reinstituted into the middle school, and the results there again have proven out. We've got 3 years in a row of math and reading scores that have gone up after the previous 8 prior to that, where things were falling off. And that's a matter of curriculum. That's a matter of focus. We do crazy stuff now like phonics and spelling lists and stuff like that. Our ELL teachers, we've doubled those. In the special ed, we've doubled the supports for the special ed. It doesn't mean that that's done, right? You know, but it's all moving in the right direction. We've put $2 million into supports for at-risk kids. So programs for those of our most needy students. Down at the Career Academy, there's been some other things that have been added down there: hospitality, track, skilled trades, graphic design. There's more down there. Another big buzzword during this election has been, teacher retention is important, well, and of course it is, but we have, excuse me for stuttering, the teacher retention has improved in the last 3 years in a row. And then finally, Patty Blankenship and the crew down there who are in charge of finances, our board policy, or not our board policy, but our board finance committee, need to get a lot of credit. They just got the highest rating for financial management in the state of Iowa. So there's a ton of really good things going on.
And specifically, what is the biggest challenge the school district has faced during your time on the board, and how, as a member of the school board, did you handle that challenge?
Well, I don't know if I handled it right. I mean, it's always a collective effort. Right now, I think our biggest challenge is actually right now. We have state and federal laws that are changing. There's a lot of uncertainty there. We don't know how much funding we're going to get from the state. We don't know how much funding we're going to get it from the federal government. So that's in limbo. You might have seen 2 or 3 days ago in Des Moines. They're having a lot of troubles. They're already warning staff down there that they might have to offer up pink slips. But because of the work of the people on our finance end of things, our staff can rest assured, our community can rest assured that that's not going to happen here. We're prepared for whatever comes down that street, and we're good for a number of years, in my view.
Okay, and what district accomplishment, which came during your time on the school board, are you proudest of?
The impetus for me to get on the board was I had watched from my seat at West Middle School and with my colleagues at West Middle School, I had watched our special ed program be dismantled. I watched inexplicably as reading was taken out of the reading teachers were taken out of the middle school. And, oddly enough, the scores dipped. I mean, and I guess I do mean to be sarcastic about that, actually. And so with that being said, probably the thing that was what people downtown call the heaviest lift, and probably the most important thing that's happened since I've been on the board, is that has been rebuilt, right? The middle school model is back in place. We have reading teachers back in the classrooms. Class sizes have dropped 2, 3, 4, 5 per teacher. right? And again, nothing's perfect. You know, you got all these moving parts, but yeah, that would be the one that would stick out for me the most.
Okay, and how do you handle a question from a parent, teacher, or taxpayer that you don't know the answer to or you don't have the answer to?
What I know what I don't do. I don't try to pretend, right? There are a group of experts for every area of our district, and so I call them and I ask them and give me some. I need to call this guy back. I need to call this lady back, and so I do. That's how I handle it.
And what are your priorities for the district?
That's a hard question to answer. I guess the priorities will be those of the staff, right? I don't have a singular agenda. I'm not on there for one thing or two things or three things. You know, this is where I think board members need to stay in their lane. They're there to support. They're there to encourage. They're there to listen, right? And those priorities, like I said a little bit ago, there's a lot of moving parts. And so what might not be a priority today could very well be a priority as quickly as tomorrow. And you move and you adjust. And, you know, we have professionals that are ready to do those kinds of things. Okay,
last question. Why do you believe you are the best candidate for the school board?
Can we change the question?
We cannot.
Well, I'm going to change it. I don't care. Why would I be a good one, right? The best thing is it makes me uncomfortable a little bit. I think every decision that I make, I'm making with the students in mind. I think the focus on supporting the teachers and staff, you know, helping the people who are on the cabinet, helping the people on the staff, saying yes on agenda items that I know from my experience are going to put them in a position to succeed. You put somebody in a position to succeed, they're gonna, right? I know that there has been academic growth. We've had, and that comes from our staff. It's been the decision making has been theirs, right? Since I got on the board, my focus has been to bring forward what the people who are in the position, I want them to be driving this, right? It's not me. I'm not in their room anymore. I'm not in their building anymore, right? That's where they are. And so I think it's imperative that you listen to them and put forward what the majority of them are saying, right? There's always going to be somebody who's like, yeah, no, that's wrong. But when you listen to the majority and you move forward, and with that has come the success of the district, in my view. Our results are not quantitative, are quantitative. I'm not just here standing to you going, rah, rah, you know, man, everything's going great, you know, look at us go. I can say, look at us go, and here's how we're doing it, and this is what we're doing it, right? So with that, you know, I guess that finished my answer for that question. I'd like to help maintain, you know, be around to help maintain the momentum that we currently have. So, yeah.
All right, Bob Michaelson, thank you for being here.
Jessica Bowman, it's a pleasure to meet you, my dear.
Thank you.
Yeah.